guys, that's right. Politico reporting, quote, the 81-year-old president is deeply sensitive about his son and has barked at White House aides who have mused about Hunter Biden as an electoral liability, or those who wondered if he should be accompanying the president on the road. Many aides now choose to avoid the subject for fear of triggering the president's temper. And those close to Biden worry Hunter's legal battles could cost him his re-election bid. A close aide telling Politico, quote, you can see it in his eyes and you can see his shoulders slump. He is so worried about Hunter, and we are worried it could consume him. Hunter Biden is facing 9 new tax charges in California. Those charges came out of special counsel David Weiss's probe. This while his legal team is trying to dismiss those federal gun charges in Delaware. And now he could even be held in contempt of Congress. Hunter ignored a subpoena to testify at the House Oversight Committee earlier this week. Instead, he held a press conference on Capitol Hill where he called the House impeachment inquiry a baseless sham, while the deposition room stayed completely empty. And Hunter's strategy is apparently causing tension in the White House. Quote, top aides to President Biden originally crafted a plan to largely not respond to attacks and conservative media coverage, but Hunter's team ultimately was not satisfied. Meanwhile, the Biden administration denies the president had any involvement in his family's foreign business deals. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre snapping at reporters yesterday. Watch this.
You can ask me about engagement and what the president has done with his family in conversation, but there's no evidence. But there's no evidence. There is no evidence that the president has done wrongdoing. There's none. Absolutely none.
But some lawmakers say the president can't jump in to save his son this time.
You're getting concerned about any of Joe Biden's actions to help his son?
Well, on that, basically, here's the rule of law pertains to all of us. Okay, no one's above the law. President Biden's not above the law. President Trump's not above the law. His children, whether it be Biden or anybody else, let it go through the process. I believe in the judicial system we have. I defend it and I support it.
Yeah, guys, so it has become increasingly hard for the White House to defend Hunter. He faces an ongoing criminal investigation and a wave of legal issues. So we'll see what happens there.
Hey, dummy! Are you retarded or just plain stupid?
Run, Hunter, run away, hurry.
Let's get it! Come on! Get you!
Run, Hunter, run.
We're back here, you!
Run, Hunter, run.
Now you wouldn't believe it if I told you.
But I could run like the wind blows. I was running.
he smokes the crack pipe in. Oh, see you later. He's out of here. Hunter Biden's leaving America. Oh, baby, I got a bunch of people you can take with you. Welcome to Free for All Friday. Today is December 15, 2023. Hunter Biden fears he'll have to flee America if Trump's elected. Federal prosecutors accused of obstructing the Biden investigation resigns. Oh, baby, the heat is getting turned up. We are winning. And Shawn Davis, the editor of The Federalist, a publication that we love, joins the program. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. I have to travel tonight. In fact, after the show, I hop a flight, go to Phoenix. We're going to be giving a speech at America Fest, Turning Point USA. It's an awesome event. Really excited about it. A lot of people travel during the holidays. It's also when you get flu and stuff like that. Got to make sure that you stay tightened up. The wellness company is what I use to make sure that I am tip-top shape. Got 3 little kids. They literally live on the floor. They lick doorknobs. They lick the ground. You take them to Walmart. They're literally like, again, like you have kids like this. They'll like pick a sucker up off the floor and start eating it with hair on it. Yeah, those are my kids. That's why you need wellness that you can trust. The emergency kit that I use comes with all of the life-saving medications like ivermectin, emergency antibiotics, Z-Pak, and more. and a healthy guidebook in case you need to use them. To order, just go to twc.health/Benny. That's TWC health/Benny and enter the code Benny for 10% off. Again, that's TWC health/Benny, promo code Benny for 10% off. Stay healthy. If you're traveling and Hunter Biden is traveling out of America, okay, I want to start by saying this. All right? The greatest argument to electing Donald Trump is the people who've promised to leave the country if that happens. Now, this happened in 2016, so I don't want to get ahead of myself here. But we have for you a healthy list of celebrities who said they'd leave America in 2016 if Trump was elected. Now, I want to go through this list because it's very important. We got to tighten up here, baby, okay? Let's go through because many of these people have made new promises to leave again. All right? They didn't leave the first time. We're going to hold them to it. In fact, I will personally pay for the one-way U-Haul moving truck to show up, back up into their house, wherever Brentwood neighborhood they live in LA, and let's get going, okay? So help me banish these people. Vote Trump 2024 in order to get, okay, let's go. Let's go through the Chelsea Handler. Chelsea Handler, here's the first one, okay? See you later. Don't need ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. See you later. Okay. Whoopi Goldberg has said will leave. She was going to leave in 2016. Oh, no. All right. Cher said, if he's elected, I'm going to be moving to Jupiter. She'll leave the planet. I think Elon Musk can help us get a rocket together. Barbara Streisand. Come on. Let's go. I banish you. Your vote can help send Barbara Streisand to Somalia. Come on. Let's go. Barbara Streisand, enjoy your new life. Amy Schumer said she would leave. Well, that's pretty amazing. What? Guys, you are talking a win-win here, all right? Amy Schumer, out of here. Miley Cyrus said she would leave. No loss there. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do it round two. Round two. Cher says she's going to leave America. She promises this time she'll leave in 2024. I got an ulcer last time, Cher says. Okay? Think about the good we could do for this country. Think about making America great again. Making America great again looks like Amy Schumer and Whoopi Goldberg and Barbara Streisand moving to Cuba. Hey, listen, there's a communist dictatorship 90 miles from where we do the show. North Korea. Whoopi Goldberg could do The View. In Pyongyang. She could have very special guest every day. Very special. Kim Jong-un every day. Kim Jong-un and Whoopi Goldberg can do The View together. All right? And they can be joined by their special co-host, Hunter Biden. Because the news out this morning is that Hunter Biden says he's out of here if Donald Trump wins. Ooh, baby. Hunter plans to flee the United States if Trump is elected. Hot damn. Come on, people. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Please. This is the reason. Do you need any other reason to vote for Trump? This is what making America great again looks like. Okay? The self-deportation. Friends say Joe Biden is consumed by scandal around his son and is scared that he will slip back into addiction, report claims. So the kid that you turned into an addict, Joe, you're upset that he's going to slip back into addiction? You do realize that you're the one who did this, right, Joe? You do realize by not putting your son in jail, by not letting your son suffer the consequences of his addiction, which is how you actually solve misbehavior in little children. You do realize that marrying Hunter's babysitter, probably not great psychologically for him. That's who Joe Biden is. You do realize that this is a result of bad parenting, right, Joe? Reflection on you. The fact that you gave your crackhead kid, access to unlimited funnels of money to do more crack and to abuse more women. You do realize it's your fault, right, Joe? Hope you sleep well at night, pal. I really do. Hunter plans on leaving the country if Trump is elected. Why?
Why? I want to make 2 points here. One, anybody who says they're going to leave the country if their party doesn't win doesn't actually love America. It isn't deserving of this place in the first place. So you better not say it, okay? This is where I was born. This is where we're citizens of. We have a right to this place. This is where our forefathers, I don't know how long you've been in this country. This is where, shout them out, by the way. If you got veterans in your family, your father was a veteran, your grandfather was a veteran, your great-great-grandpappy was a veteran, shout them out, baby. Shout them out. What would great-great-grandfather be? World War I, maybe? You got them. Let me know in the comment section. Let's give some honor to these guys. We fought and died for this place. Our ancestors built this place. I ain't leaving for no one. I'm digging my heels into this dirt that my family fought and died for. You can leave, Whoopi Goldberg. Not a real name. You can leave, Barbara Streisand. Please. Like, if you hate this country that much, go. You're not deserving of it, in fact. So that's number one. It's a repugnant thing to say. It's a despicable thing to say. Most of these celebrities, they certainly don't have the brainstem to think for themselves. They certainly don't have the amount of brain cells in their brain to think for themselves. Snoop Dogg's on the list. How many brain cells do you think that guy's got left? Okay, up in smoke. These are all publicists. People write the stuff for them, right? They write the stuff and tweet it out, right? It's the entire satanic cabal that controls these people. Who cares? Shove them off. But Hunter Biden's different, you see. Hunter Biden doesn't like it because the gravy train is ended, finally. The protection racket for Hunter Biden will come to a close if Donald Trump gets back in. Now, I know this because I know Donald Trump's campaign very closely. I know the people who are very close to Donald Trump, and some of the biggest people in his first administration are saying, we are not going to make the mistake that we made in the last administration. Now, let me make something very clear. And this is really important for you to hear, and it was very important for me to hear. They view the greatest two mistakes, the people that are closest to Donald Trump, the people who served him the most noble and honorable in the White House, those people view the two biggest mistakes as the Attorney General putting some cucked biatch in there. Oh, wow, you once used Russian dressing, Russian salad dressing. Oh, my. You can't oversee the Russian. This is what they did with Jeff Sessions, right? You once had a martini made with Russian vodka, Wayne Smirnoff. You can no longer oversee the Russian investigation. And they were able to cuck that guy out. So he had a weak attorney general. They view that as number one. Number two, not putting Hillary Clinton in jail. Those are the things that they see as the problem. Now, why? If you put Hillary Clinton in jail, even if it didn't actually get to the point where she goes to prison, which of course she's well deserving of, put her in Jeffrey Epstein's cell. That's what I say. Make her live in that cell, the specific cell, Jeffrey Epstein cell. I say this, and this is what the internals at the Trump organization say. Inside of the Trump administration, they view that because that would have been a warning shot that we are not effing around. And eye for an eye. Sometimes the Old Testament, you got to just say, man, there's some deep wisdom there. Eye for an eye. If you let someone go and gouge out all of your eyes and you never fight back, then, only the evil people will have eyes. Now it seems like only the evil people are unleashed to commit all manner of evil without any fear that there will be recompense for them, that it might swing back the other direction. And so you're going to have to get hit for them to not do this again. They're going to have to feel that pain. Putting Hillary Clinton under federal investigation and potentially in prison, because she's clearly a criminal, that would have been the pain that would have stopped everything we're seeing today. And the next Trump administration is not going to make those stupid moves. All right? Good rock-ribbed attorney general who's not going to cuck out because he played Russian roulette once and actually following through. And they know this. They spy on Trump's phones. They know that this is the plan. The plan for Hunter Biden is an actual prosecution. Not this kid glove stuff so we can control your father. Real big boy stuff. So that's the plan for Hunter, and he knows it. And this is why Hunter Biden is saying, I'm leaving. Jesse Waters, Covered it last night in great detail. Quite entertaining. Watch.
Fox News alert, Hunter Biden's planning on fleeing the country. Sources tell Politico that behind the scenes, Hunter's confiding to close family friends, saying if Trump gets reelected, he's on the first plane out. Hunter, who's facing up to 20 years in prison for tax fraud, says he expects to face intense scrutiny, and not the good kind, from the Trump campaign from now until Election Day. If Biden loses, it's only going to get worse. So where would Hunter go? I mean, some countries I'm sure would invite him in. I hear Mr. Dong has a comfy hammock in Beijing. Ukraine is a little dangerous these days. And Hunter has been going around telling everybody Republicans are trying to kill him.
So Joe Biden is apparently an absolute basket case, more than typically for Joe Biden. We've all seen the video of Joe Biden, wandering into the bushes. We all know that Joe Biden, of course, has full-blown dementia. We're not trying to poke the guy with a stick. What we are trying to do here is talk deep morals with Joe Biden. Okay, you did this to your kid. Axios reporting Biden's Hunter trigger. President feels guilty, sad, angry when son is attacked. Well, maybe that's something that you should look in the mirror on, Joe. You're the one who created Hunter Biden. You are the person who spared the rod and then spoiled the child. Let us recall, and I don't know if we have this clip loaded up, ALX, but let us recall that Hunter Biden, when he was 18 years old, when he wasn't even a legal adult, was buying coke in New Jersey and getting nipped for it, got a mugshot and everything, arrested, and Daddy Joe came muscling in to get his kid out of jail. This has been an ongoing process, step after step, delinquency after delinquency. Hunter Biden skates because Joe Biden comes roaring in and protects his kid. Meanwhile, locking up hundreds of thousands of black kids for doing a scintilla of what Hunter did. This is a classic example of a father that refuses to discipline his son, spares the rods, and spoils the child. Let's read the article real fast. In private, no issue is more likely to anger or sadden President Biden than attacks on his son. Oh, boo-hoo. According to people close to Hunter, who have seen his mood shifts when there's bad news about Hunter. Why does it matter? For Biden, who privately has expressed guilt over Hunter's ongoing legal and political fights, next year will be emotionally fraught as Hunter faces new criminal charges, will be at the center of the Republican-led impeachment inquiry. The 81-year-old president has suggested to close associates that if he hadn't run in 2020, Hunter wouldn't be facing criminal prosecutions to be the target of daily stories in the conservative media, all while trying to stay sober and rebuild his life. Oh, really? The ongoing criminal investigation into Hunter Biden has strained President Biden's relationship with Merrick Garland, who appointed a special counsel in August to oversee the federal investigation of Hunter. Only a few long-serving aides feel free to discuss Hunter's situation with the president. Driving the news, Hunter 53 could face up to 17 years in prison if convicted of 3 felony, tax, and 6 misdemeanor charges, including filing false tax return. Hunter also faces felony gun charge in Delaware and could face contempt of Congress proceeding if he fails to appear closed-door meeting, which he did. Joe Biden is breaking because of his horrible parenting decisions. Okay? Start with this. Joe Biden never let his son face any real-world consequences. And every parent knows it. You sometimes got to let your kid trip and fall and skin their knee. There has to be reality that hits. For kids to become better people, for there to be the crucible that turns you into a better, more honorable individual, you must face the harsh brutality, the painful reality. Every person who is watching this stream right now, every person has had some type of severe pain in their life that through the power of God has led to a honorable and noble result, an improvement in your life, in fact. Pain is a teacher. Joe Biden has been protecting his son from his earliest days. Check this out, reporting from Jesse.
And the Biden family has a long history of covering up cocaine charges. Ask Hunter. He'll tell you straight up, if he wasn't a Biden, he'd be in jail.
I just wondered how you viewed sort of the money you made through your clients that enabled that addiction, and also maybe the ways that protected you from consequences that might have landed a lot of other people in jail?
I think it's completely unfair, and I think that I am 100% still here today and not in a jail cell or in an institution because of my privilege, and not just the privilege of a family that loved me, but the privilege of the fact that I had been very successful.
Back in 1988, Hunter was arrested for cocaine possession in Stone Harbor, New Jersey. But Hunter walked out with a clean record. Why? Well, his dad, senator at the time, expunged his record. And at the same time, Biden was sweeping his son's coke under the rug. Biden was throwing average Americans in prison for coke possession. Same crime.
How do you expect your son to behave in society when he's 53 years old and he has suffered zero consequences for his on-camera crimes? I don't know why, but Hunter Biden strapped a GoPro to himself when he was committing every crime that is written into the U.S. tax code, legal code, moral statute code. I don't know why, but he did. And so what happens next when you have a kid like that has suffered no consequences? Well, you're responsible, actually. He's 53 years old. 53 years old. A reminder here, by the way, that Hunter Biden has been babied his entire life by his babysitter. You know who was the babysitter? Maybe you do. Her name was Jill. Jill Biden ain't Hunter's mother. Jill Biden was the babysitter. Hunter's mom, well, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden cheated on. And Jill Biden cheated on her husband while she was the babysitter with Joe. That's a known fact. My extended family is all from Delaware. This is well known in Delaware. So that's the initiation point. That's what Joe Biden was modeling for his children. All right. I'm going to disrespect, dishonor your mother with the babysitter, and then I'm going to force you to the babysitter to be your mom. Imagine how that's going to screw with a kid. Okay. And by the way, Ashley Biden ain't any better, right? There's videotape of Ashley Biden doing drugs. Ashley Biden had the exact. So when you have these kids and you're getting the same result with each kid, maybe you're the problem, Joe. In case you're wondering if I'm making all this up, here's Inside Edition.
Yeah, it's going to break her heart.
He's the ex-husband of Dr. Jill Biden, the widely admired woman who's been at Joe Biden's side for 43 years. And he has an eye-opening story to tell.
I was betrayed by the Bidens. Joe was my friend. Joe was my wife.
According to Bill Stevenson, both he and Jill first got to know Joe Biden when Biden was a county councilman in Newcastle, Delaware. Stevenson asked his help obtaining a liquor license.
So you were friends with Joe Biden?
Oh, yeah. Not only that, I threw a fundraiser for him in August, raised between $2,500 and $3,000. We got married in 70. I introduced Joe to Jill in 72, right before the election.
Then one day, he says a man came into his bar and asked him to pay damages for a fender bender that involved Jill.
He looks at me and he says, "Oh, she wasn't driving." I said, "Her beloved Corvette, she wasn't driving it?" He goes, "Senator Biden was driving it." And I went, "What?"
Wait a second. Pay me money for a crash that your wife had while she was driving with Joe Biden. Doesn't it sound like something that's straight out of Hunter Biden's laptop? The apple don't fall far from the tree, they say. By the way, if you ever heard Hunter Biden talk, you'll know that he also deeply ineloquent and deeply low IQ. These are not high-functioning people. But Joe Biden, who's already on a razor's edge mentally, is now being broken by this. I asked my producers for this show, go through and hunt down how's Joe Biden been sounding, right? Let's see if we can match his public statements with what is being reported going on behind the scenes. Since he did, betray his wife and marry the babysitter and then force Hunter Biden into this horrible, like, witch's kitchen of a relationship and mess this kid up. See if you can find me some clips of Joe Biden having, like, mental collapse this week over the guilt of what he's done to his kid. Wasn't even that hard. Took about 2 seconds. Here's Joe Biden speaking at an event yesterday. See if this sounds like a man who has his mental cognition together. Go.
Taxpayers already are chipping in, paying a lot of money for here at NIH to get these brilliant scientists to go out and find cures, find answers to the drug problem, to drugs, with the use of drugs for health problems.
You wouldn't let that man serve ladle out applesauce during activity hour in the local nursing home. But here he is, the resident of the White House. Here's Joe Biden straight up making up numbers. I mean, listen, guys, things have been bad for Biden. This is a new level. We've reached a new level. Now that his entire family is collapsing based on what he's done. Could you imagine a greater curse in your 80s? Based on your own selfish life decisions, now to see your entire family fall apart, all your kids go to prison because of you old dirty scumbag? Of course his brain's going to snap. And that's exactly what you're seeing in this clip. This is the worst one. Watch.
Over $1,300 million.
Over $1,300 million. Yikes. They hate each other. Hunter Biden on Jill Biden, according to Hunter Biden's own text messages. F my stepmother for being a selfish, silly, entitled blank. Unearthed text reveal Hunter cruelly insulting Jill Biden behind her back, even as she sent him loving messages and offered him a house when he was pushed to return to rehab. Doesn't look like that rehab push did very well for you, Jill. Here's video from 4th of July. Jill Biden at the White House, Hunter Biden sniffing rabidly his nose, and Jill Biden, let's just say that's not a great family dynamic right there. I think, does anybody here know, like, body language? I think that, like, Jill Biden's not happy. This was right after they found the baggies of coke in the White House. Baggies of coke, Benny? What do you mean baggies? The Secret Service has 3 bags of coke that they found. Everyone's obsessed with the one. We've done a lot of reporting with the one that's in, like, the cubby at the visitor center. There were 3 bags of coke found in the White House. So, I think Jill's done with this. Jill's done being a babysitter for this guy for the last 53 years. Hunter was like a really small infant when Jill Biden was first brought into the family. I think Jill Biden's also having a breakdown as well. Jill Biden's having a breakdown, and it's pretty glorious, although painful. I will give you a trigger warning. I'm about to play you Jill Biden's Christmas video that she released. And then I'll play you Melania's video, don't worry, as a palate cleanser, okay? I'm going to give you just a few seconds of Jill Biden's Christmas video. This is what the Bidens decided. So for the birth of Christ, this is what the Bidens decided on would be a good idea to send out the message of Christmas, all right? This is how the Bidens are messaging Christmas from inside of one of the most famous and storied houses and most powerful country in the world. This is the message they wish to tell you about the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, on this glorious, blessed Christmas day, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't enjoy. Also, we should reopen our mental institutions. Watch. What the hell is going on here? What is this? What is that? Huh? What is that? Oh my God! What was that? What is happening? Oh my God! We must reopen our mental institutions. They are mental. I always thought that leftists were mentally ill. Thank you for proving it, I suppose. You shouldn't let them run free in the White House. What is this? A nutcracker with a nose ring? What does this have to do with the birth of baby Jesus? Don't know. We did look through their website, though. That dance troupe is a viciously racist, defund the police, vile group who claim to be witches. That's right. So the Biden administration invited people who say that they are open to witchcraft into the White House. It's on their website. Don't come after me. It's on their own webpage. We tweeted it out. Go after them. See the corresponding reporting here from the New York Post. New York dance company Jill Biden tapped for White House Hunger Games Christmas video, push defund the police, prison abolition, discredited anti-racism activities, along with calling themselves witches. So in case you're wondering if Jill Biden is on brand, as she steals another man's husband, destroys their lives together, is hated by her adopted children and her biological children, and has just really made a mess of things while seeking power for herself. Because, of course, why would you ever allow Joe Biden to run for president? You know he's not capable of it. What a wicked, wicked wife you must be. What a wicked woman you must be to allow Joe Biden in his state to, like, run for president. In case you're wondering if she's a sick person, she is indeed a sick person. And we must cleanse the palate. Ladies and gentlemen, I have it for you. Please, please, Rolls-Royce, please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I need something to remove all of that, sick depravity from my eyes, from my brain. Give me Melania. That's better. That's better. That's nice. Zen. You notice that there was a manger scene in that? Instead of like a scene out of Hunger Games or a mental institution, it was like actually a manger scene where you can just acknowledge the Christ child for Christmas. That's pleasant. You notice how it is aesthetically beautiful? I'm not talking about Melania, of course she's a supermodel, but like the White House itself is aesthetically beautiful and not some type of garish, heinous, Dr. Seuss level eye rapage. How like there's just simple and traditional beauty, a roaring fire, white lights, a pleasant tree with bows upon it. Isn't that nice? Isn't that pleasant? Don't you wish for that? We are a big time Christmas family in my family, and I wish for that again. Okay? Please, make America great again is also make Christmas great again in this country. So, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it. Let's get Joe Biden impeached. Let's impeach Joe Biden. Let's expose these criminals. They're stuck with them. They're stuck with them. They're stuck with them. I don't know how they're going to do it. But right now, there's no option for them to replace Biden. So let's go. Greg Jarrett, one of our favorite legal analysts on Fox, outlining exactly how bad things are for Joe Biden. Go.
Joe Biden continues to double down on his lies. And nearly 70% of Americans don't believe it. They think he either committed actions that are illegal or unethical. So, Americans have wised up to Joe Biden's lies and the allegations against him. You know, Sean, there's serious and credible. There's compelling evidence of impeachable conduct. He actively aided and abetted corrupt schemes operated by his son, netting tens of millions of dollars from foreign interests while selling access and promises of influence. There's documents and testimonies that implicate the father as complicit. And so, you know, exploiting a public office to enrich your family, even if you don't profit yourself, that's both a criminal offense, Sean, and it's an impeachable one.
Yeah, baby. All right. My producer is telling me that I got to move up a important clip because we're on Melania news right now. And you want a little more Melania news, right? Melania Trump is making news at this very moment. I'm getting pinged right now by the great ALX telling me that Melania is speaking at the National Archives, welcoming new American citizens, naturalized American citizens who did the process legally. Melania Trump speaks at the National Archives in D.C. right now, at this moment. She's still ongoing speaking ceremony for U.S. citizens. Melania Trump herself, a U.S. citizen who was born in Slovenia. My personal experience of traversing the challenges of immigration process opened my eyes to the harsh realities people face, including you, who try to become U.S. citizens. Melania Trump, we have the clip, do we? Shall we hear from the great First Lady, arguably the greatest First Lady in American history? Fight me on that. Arguably the greatest First Lady in American history, Melania Trump making news right now in Washington, D.C., the belly of the beast, honoring new naturalized Americans. Let's go.
Even if every time consuming, my dream of becoming a citizen pushed me to meticulously gather every last piece of information required, ensuring that no detail was overlooked. My personal experience of traversing the challenges of the immigration process opened my eyes to the harsh realities people face, including you, who to try to become U.S. citizens. And then, of course, there are nuances of understanding the United States immigration laws and the complex legal language contained therein. I was very devoted, but I certainly was not an attorney.
Can I get shout outs to Melania in the comment section? We have all the comment sections that are like in front of us at all times. Can I get shout outs to Melania? Like how wonderful it was to have a First Lady that we were proud of that didn't look like she shopped in the bath curtain section at Bed Bath & Beyond. How nice it was to have an elegant First Lady that wasn't trying to humiliate our country and make things heinous in order to dehumanize us and to make us feel bad about ourselves. Like it's ugly on purpose, right? These people are ugly on purpose. Tucker Carlson did an interview with us earlier in the week on a live Spaces on X. And Tucker Carlson talked about how it's the government of freaks, which is so this is before the video came out of Jill Biden at the White House. He said he called it a government of freaks in order to humiliate us, in order to denigrate our nation, in order to harm us and our opinion of this country. He says Tucker said cringe Jean-Pierre can't speak English. She can't even, he'd be surprised if she had a driver's license. And oh baby, was that on display? I hate to follow up a video of Melania with cringe, but we got to do it. We got to do it. Is it a cringe alert or a nuclear cringe? Normal cringe. It's okay. My producers go through and they say, is this a nuclear cringe or is it just a regular cringe alert? This is our regular cringe alert for the day. All right. Cringe Jean-Pierre being asked about Joe Biden lying. Why is Joe Biden lying? Why did he lie? We have proof of the Biden lies that's on camera. La 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 la. Watch.
Is there an easy way to counter the central message, though, that the president interacted with associates and has been lying about it since?
The president is not lying about anything as it relates to what House Republicans are trying to do. It is baseless. It is a political stunt, and it has not proven that the president has done anything wrong. Anything wrong. And so they are wasting their time. They are wasting the American people's time. And what they should be doing is the things that I just listed. They're going to go home, but they haven't taken care of what we need to make sure that we are helping Ukraine. There's going to be potentially a shutdown next month. They have done nothing to avert that shutdown. Go ahead.
Republicans have done nothing for America by not funding Ukraine. It's so good. It's so good. The Republicans have done nothing for this country. Like, they haven't given another $100 billion to Ukraine. Ooh, baby. They're upset because it's on camera. They're angry because it's on camera. Here's Joe Biden while running for president. One of many, but just one that we particularly like. Joe Biden while running for president being asked, hey, your son did a lot of criminal things. Why did he do those things? Were you part of those things? Watch Joe Biden's response.
So you think that everything that happened was kosher?
You know there's not one single bit of evidence, not one little tiny bit, to suggest anything done was wrong. You know that, but you keep asking me these questions. It's okay. You're doing what you have to do, but I'm not worried about it. Look, the American public knows me.
One little tiny bit. Now, notice how Joe Biden gets right up in his face. Now, one little tiny bit, right? This is the tactic. This is the media tactic. We're gonna have one of the best editors and writers joining this program in a moment, Shawn Davis of the Federalist, but this is a tactic, right? When you feel like you have overt control of the media, then you bully them. The White House regularly bullies reporters into reporting what they want. And that system is in decay, it's in decline, and it's collapsing. With X and with shows like this, we actually can create a American-run media where we answer to the American people, which is what media should be, and not the Praetorian Guard for people like Joe Biden going like, there's nothing wrong with my son. Well, that's, okay, obviously on its face, a lie, but also, why do you keep changing your story? If you're so virtuous and your family's so virtuous, why'd you bang the babysitter? Sorry. If your family's so virtuous, why's your daughter write about the showers you took with her in her diary? Sorry, correction. If you're so virtuous, why is your own IRS saying you're changing your story and lying to the American people? There we go. Here we go.
At the beginning, it was, I've never talked to my son about business. That's been proven patently false by evidence and testimony we provided. Then it moved to he's not in business with him. And now we're into he's not financially connected to the businesses. So you don't have to be financially connected to a business in order to be a part of that business. And what President Biden was basically doing through Hunter Biden was allowing Hunter Biden to get these deals where there's no discernible actual product being produced. So it's really just peddling of the influence.
That's an IRS agent, okay? That's Gary Schlafly, one of the bravest men in America, saying they keep changing their story. Maybe he watches the show. Gary, if you're watching the show, please come on the program. Maybe he was watching the show because Gary Schlafly is saying it's so strange that they keep moving these goalposts. They need a backhoe, dig it into the ground, pull it out of the football field in Iowa, and drive it up to Minnesota. Drive it across state lines to Illinois. The goalposts have moved so much. There's no direct evidence. No, we played you the clip. Joe Biden, my son did nothing wrong. Well, your son's facing like a dozen federal charges right now. So, okay. Moving on. Now it's like Joe Biden didn't know anything about his son. Well, here's all these photos of you with your son. Here's all these photos of you with your son. Here, you can put that up, Royce. You can put that up. Speaking of a backhoe tractor pulling things up out of the ground, our executive producers have noticed that cringe Jean Pierre may be gunning for a job at John Deere. We don't know. We don't know. Smart play on her part. Gotta find a landing. John Deere, make tractors, don't have to speak English. Don't have to have a particularly high IQ to be the spokesperson. So maybe this is the perfect job for her. We're not sure. But I can tell you this. If you want to talk about somebody who has moved a goalpost with a tractor, it is cringe. Cringe has then moved from Joe Biden knew nothing, and we produce all these bank records and all these photos with him with his kids' business partners, to Joe Biden wasn't financially involved. And then they have all the checks of Joe Biden being financially involved. And so now we've moved on to the last phase. The last phase is Joe Biden loved his son too much. Not Ashley Biden diary shower love. That's totally different. What we're talking about is Joe Biden's love for his son. He loved him too much. That's the new exciting rollout of an excuse for what happened with the Biden family. It's just a father's love. Oh, this is the one that's being trotted out like crazy. I mean, it's like making the late night circuit and everything. That's how you know when the comedians start saying the same thing, right? That's how you know this is the official narrative now. This is the official narrative. It's just Joe Biden loves his kid too much. Loving your son is a crime. That's what's going on. And you're seeing it. The lowest information, dumbest members of Congress who need to have the talking points written in front of them in size 41 font are saying this. Here's our nuclear cringe of the day. One of our favorites, Jasmine Crockett from Texas.
The idea that they are going to somehow get to President Biden through his son, who was drug addicted, and the only thing that they have revealed in these hearings is that we have a president that loves his son even through his imperfections.
He loves his son too much. It's great. It's great. There's possible FARA violations on the horizon. This ain't done yet. We're not done yet, ladies and gentlemen. There's so much more to cover here on the Bidens. You got to buckle up. There's going to be more that comes next week. The impeachment has been finalized, and in a moment, we are going to be speaking with Shawn Davis of the Federalist. You must stay connected with us to cover and stay in touch for all of this new. This is going to happen fast. It's going to happen fast. It's going to be slow, and then it's going to happen fast. Get on Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is the free speech loving cell phone company provider that we use on this program. We travel all over the place. I'm taking a flight today. Get on Patriot Mobile. Stay free. Speak freely with America's only Christian conservative wireless company. Keep your number, keep your existing phone, or for a limited time, get a free smartphone for Patriot Mobile, patriotmobile.com/Benny, or call 972-PATRIOT and use the promo code Friday76 to get a free smartphone. Make the switch today. Free speech. Stay based with Patriot Mobile. And there's no more based of a guest that we could possibly have than Shawn Davis, ladies and gentlemen, of the Federalist, which we read on this program all the time, every morning. Joining the program to talk about the love of a father and his son. Shawn Davis, welcome to the program. I really like this legal precedent that's being set, Shawn, because now my kids can commit any crime, and it's simply going to be my love that gets them out of jail. I think it's great. It's great. As a father, I think it's wow. You know, wow. My kids can get out of jail because I love them too much.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that legal doctrine only applies to Biden children. And I'll say I've actually kind of been fascinated by how they've handled all of his problems here. Because the first thing they did at this press conference that Hunter did the other day when he was supposed to be testifying before Congress is say, look, well, I'm just a humble addict. I was just trying to get my life together. Why are you coming after me? I was a drug addict and I was on crack. And how dare you come after me trying to recover and get better? Which that seems like a defense to them. It seems like an indictment to me, because if he was just, a poor little crackhead huddled in the street, not knowing what to do, why was the spy chief of China giving him $1 million? Why was the wife of the Moscow mayor giving him millions of dollars? Why was Burisma giving him millions of dollars? He's just a poor old crackhead. To me, that whole defense just proves how guilty he is. Like, there's no reason on earth that guy should have been getting a dime from these people unless they were buying influence from his dad.
So the Federalists have done just absolutely bombshell reporting on this, and you guys have been obviously leading the greater overarching cultural narratives about this. Your reporting this week talks about how this is really about Joe Biden, and that there's going to be this obsession with Hunter Biden because you have the hookers, the prostitutes, you have everything that a Scorsese, all the elements that make a Scorsese movie you got with Hunter. But people need to accept the reality and really refine our focus on making this about Joe Biden. Can you sort of detail your reporting on this point?
Yeah, I will say it's absolutely about Joe Biden. Nobody cares about Hunter Biden. This guy, he's not particularly likable. He's not particularly interesting. He's just a guy. The only reason anyone is interested in him is because he was obviously serving as the bag man for the Biden family crime syndicate. It lasted for years. We had Hunter working with his uncle James, James's wife Sarah, even Naomi Biden. They were all getting millions and millions of dollars for services that none of them will disclose, and they just happened to coincide with things that Joe Biden was involved in as vice president and now as president. And I think really the best example is the Burisma job. Hunter Biden doesn't speak Ukrainian. Hunter Biden doesn't know anything about energy production, energy exports. And yet it was Hunter Biden who was tapped for $1 million a year sinecure to sit on Burisma's board. That makes no sense until you take into account that, oh, his dad, Joe Biden, was vice president at the time and was running the Obama administration's Ukrainian policy. And again, it's no accident that when you look at the charges that have been brought against Hunter, a couple of tax charges, you'll see that none of them were actually from the Burisma period from 2014, 2015. And that's because they're trying to protect Joe Biden at all costs. They rung Hunter up on tax evasion when Joe wasn't in office, but they magically allowed to expire the statute of limitations on all the shenanigans and influence peddling and maybe even money laundering that Hunter was doing while his dad was vice president. It's 100% about Joe. And you know it's about Joe when you look at the links to which this DOJ, this corrupt DOJ, will go to insulate Joe from anything. You had Gary Shapley on earlier on a clip. It was Shapley who made that clear. They had Hunter dead to rights for stuff he was clearly doing for Joe. And yet this DOJ, this corrupt DOJ, has tried to make all of that disappear.
Why didn't Trump go after the Bidens and Hillary?
He did. He was impeached for it. Remember,
That's
he
right.
made a single
Yeah,
phone
that's
call.
exactly right. Yes,
He said,
that's
hey,
exactly
Zelensky,
right.
Can you look into this Hunter stuff in Ukraine? And then they impeached him for it. So I
That's exactly right.
legitimately laugh out loud when they say there's not an iota of evidence against Joe. Oh, they're right. It's not an iota. It's a mountain of evidence against him. And they impeached Trump for a phone call. Imagine if Trump had 20 shell companies and millions coming into his kids for official acts.
It's something that
10 times.
And they impeached Trump based on a whistleblower inside of the Trump administration, right? Who's a Democrat activist. Again, it is wild going back. And I say that not necessarily as a knock to Trump, but as preparing for what must be done culturally when we regain power. Because unless we prove that this same level of power can be weaponized against the left, they're going to continue to do it, right? Eye for an eye. And I say it's time to go open up as many legal theories as we possibly can to go after Hillary, to go after Bill, to go after the associates of Jeffrey Epstein. Gotta catch them all, right? Now is the time. And then maybe after that, both sides learn a lesson, right? The right learns a lesson to not be cucked and sit around and try and do this footsie thing where we try and play nice and kumbaya and stuff. And the left, there's sort of a mutually assured destruction. And I think that'd be very good for the country. I don't know if you agree.
I totally agree. I've used that exact term repeatedly. Now, if I were designing everything, I would like us to go back to the way things were, where we had rule of law and everyone was treated fairly under the law. The government wasn't used to persecute its political opponents. That's not the world we live in right now. What we have is Republicans saying, well, no, we have to be good people and have good rules. And then the Democrats take power by hook or crook and use all its levers to come after their opponents. Until they feel the same pain that they're trying to inflict on their enemies, until they're made to feel the exact same terror, the threat of prison, being bankrupted by legal bills, until they suffer the consequences of their own regime, of their own ideas, they're never going to stop. So I completely agree with you. You know, when they went and raided Mar-a-Lago, when Alvin Bragg went and indicted Trump, attorney generals in Republican states across the country should have been doing the same to every single major Democrat in their state. Not because, in the larger scheme of things, that's a great thing to do, but because it's the only thing that's actually going to make this behavior stop at a national level is Democrats feeling the pain of their own system.
Yes, that's exactly right. It is amazing when you're a parent how pain is a wonderful teacher. And sometimes you got to let your kid skin your knee. And sometimes you gotta let like consequences happen to your kids. All that's happening to Hunter Biden is a result of Joe Biden's horrible, wretched parenting, selfish parenting, where he muscled in and prevented any type of consequence from being visited upon his son. And now you get this, right? He's 100% to blame. I can't think of a worse thing to happen when you're 80 than to look at your family in abject collapse and potential like prison time because of your hideous, selfish actions. What a curse, right? God has his own timing and his own justice. That's a curse, man.
This is a guy who didn't acknowledge his own granddaughter. I mean, so the jury is not out on whether Joe Biden is a good guy. I'm less interested in that than I am the fact that Joe Biden is a bad, corrupt president. Like that's, I can't be in charge of policing his personal moral behavior, but I am as an American, and you are, and all your listeners are, in charge of who gets to govern this country. And clearly this guy can't be doing it because he's so corrupt. He's turned the country over to whoever is going to pay his son the highest price, whether it's in bribes or board positions or in art purchases.
Yes. Oh, yes, that art, that beautiful art. The Biden family's so good at art. If you've seen Jill Biden's Christmas video, it's such taste. Yeah, just rings like a bell. Such taste in this family. God bless you. Merry Christmas, Shawn. Everyone read The Federalist.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, Benny.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a system here that we built out to test microphones and to test like to make sure that everyone's good and set. I know that Shawn's mic was a little bit low, and so we are going to make sure that we really kick the tires on that system and ensure that we have guests that have like good solid connections for the show. We apologize if it wasn't just you. Shawn's microphone was a little bit crackly and a little bit light. Speaking of people who are cracking now. And people who are indeed buckling under pressure. I got great news for you. Just great news for you. If you are concerned, if there is divine justice, and if there is a arc of justice that bends in the universe and repays and visits upon evil people, some of the things that they've accused others of, right? Which is the way it always works, right? God has a great sense of humor in this stuff. And please look no further than this next story. FBI counterintelligence agent who worked on the Trump-Russia collusion hoax, well, he himself has just caught a case for 4 years in prison for what? Russia collusion? Oh, man. Former FBI counterintelligence agent has been sentenced to 4 years in prison for doing work for a sanctioned Russian oligarch, Charles McGonigal, 55, has been handed a sentence by a Manhattan federal judge for work that he did with a Russian oligarch, an illegal Russian oligarch, and then he's also been fined. Tens of thousands of dollars. It was a greedy money grab, and he was leveraged because of his knowledge at the FBI, by the notorious Russian criminal. Oh, man. This guy played a pivotal role in launching the Trump-Russia collusion probe. He was the former chief counterintelligence bureau for the New York office. McGonigal was among the first FBI officials to be notified of the former Trump-Russia advisor, George Papadopoulos, aware that Russia had obtained a trove of Hillary Clinton's email. He eventually relayed this to the FBI and noted a crucial role in opening the investigation between Trump and Russia collusion. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. We out here. How great is that? How wonderful is it that there's like, that true justice will be visited upon these evil people. We are out here to continue that process, ladies and gentlemen. And we got great Trump polling news for you. It's never been better. It's making me nervous because it shouldn't be this good. It's making me nervous. I get the shakes over here. Got the shakes. It shouldn't be this good. But we got the energy on our side. We have the energy on our side because we drink Blackout coffee every single morning. Blackout coffee is the coffee of choice in the Johnson household. 1, because it comes from the great state of Florida. 2, because it's made by Patriots. 3, because it's shipped directly to my door. And that sweet, I drink my coffee black as midnight, okay? And so that's the way I like it. If it's a bad coffee, if you can like mask it, if you pump a bunch of like sugar and a bunch of milk into it or a bunch of sweetener and stuff, then that's all you're tasting, right? The coffee gets masked by. If you're just drinking straight black coffee, which is all I drink, then it's got to be a good bean, or else it will be a bad cup of coffee. Blackout coffee, baby. You won't be disappointed. This is what I drink every single day. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Use the coupon code Benny for 20% off your first order. Check out all the gear section for incredible gift ideas. The holiday season, blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. The election update. It is glorious. Let's go. What do we got to change there? It's a good election. I love it. I love that graphic. Okay, so former President Donald Trump now has double-digit lead in 2024 as support for re-electing Joe Biden has faded in the past month. The latest Rasmussen Reports national television online survey finds that two-way contest between Trump and Biden, 48% of likely voters choose Trump. 38% would choose Biden. That's 10%. That's 10 points. You can't fix that. It's broken, baby. It's broken. Do we get the polling? Do we get the actual numbers to put up on screen? There we go. Look at Trump. Whoop, 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 whoop. There he goes. Look at that one. That's great, Royce. Do that again. So look, Biden's gonna catch him. Biden's gonna catch him. Nope. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. Trump leads in swing state poll as Biden's core voters drifting away. This according to Bloomberg. They can't even type anymore at Bloomberg because salty tears, the salt gets into the keyboard. Joe Biden's growing political troubles are coming from within his own party as he trails Donald Trump in battleground states and will decide the 2024 election. The conclusion from the Bloomberg News Morning Consult poll of voters, which is a far left-wing, extremist left-wing poll, so note they are under-indexing Republican votes here, shows that Trump is leading in all 7 swing states. Holy cannoli. Look at this. Look at the graphics here. Can you scroll down for just a second? All swing states, Trump's up. Arizona, Trump up. I'm going to Arizona tonight. Georgia, Trump up. Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. Holy guacamole, Batman. And what does the article conclude? The article concludes that this is because black voters and young voters are like, screw this guy. He has dementia. Screw this guy. He's protecting his kid when I caught a case. Screw this guy. He's destroying the future for me. This will be seen as potentially the dumbest decision they ever had. The corporate Democrat Party, which isn't a real Democrat Party. It's just a Marxist, a disreputable, corrupt Marxist organ that is in decline, to choose to prop up Joe Biden as the marionette, as the Muppet for the horrors they wish to visit upon us. And so, ladies and gentlemen, good riddance, quite frankly. Good riddance. It is the Christmas season. Christ ushered in the defeat of Satan and salvation for you and I. Satan is also being defeated, I guess, in physical form in the Iowa State Capitol as a satanic idol was beheaded by a Christian veteran. Satanic altar erected in the Iowa State Capitol building. I'm from Iowa, so great shame upon the leaders of that state for allowing this. There was a sick satanic display. It was like open. It wasn't like, oh, I think that's satanic. It's like openly satanic display from the Church of Satan inside of the Iowa State Capitol. Should have never been allowed. And now a Christian has taken it into his own hands and literally smashed Baal, smashed the idol, smashed Satan. That is the crushed Satan head on the floor there. I don't know if we have like a before and after. That's Pasobic saying death to Satan. And then sort of knocked over the altar. Good. I don't want this crap even on my show. I don't want to even show you. I don't want to even show you the altar. Stuff gives me the heebie-jeebies. There's evil in the world. Satanism is not a religion. Satanism is the absence of religion, is the absence of God. Hell is simply the absence of living in the presence of God. That's what hell is. So it's not a religion, actually. So this is, of course, on its face, incorrect. Anyway, a man has smashed this. He's a military veteran. His name is Michael Cassidy. Pushed over and decapitated the statue of Satan, which was placed in the building by members of the Satanic Temple of Iowa after receiving permission, and discarded the head of the statue into the trash. Cassidy told the news outlet that he destroyed the altar Thursday to awaken Christians to the anti-Christian acts promoted by the government. Good for you. Let's book this man on the show immediately, ALX. Immediately. Come on, baby. We're out here for it. This is a perfect time for our verse of the day. From Psalms 56. In God, whose word I praise. In God I trust, for I am not afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? What can they do? Nothing. Nothing. Smash idols. Smash Satan. Smash evil in this world. Usher forth a truly virtuous society and bring forth that which we can create here. God doesn't say we're going to have perfect lives. In fact, he says the opposite, quite frankly. This is a fallen, sunken place. It is up to us to bring salt and light into the world. And, most importantly, do it in the time of lights, the Christmas time, where we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, and not whatever garish, hideous, awful Hunger Games things going on at the White House. Jill Biden as her family spirals out of control. No, no, no. You will know them by their fruits. And I hope that you have a wonderful Christmas season. We'll be back next week. We're just traveling for the weekend. We'll be back next week. From what we hear, it's going to be a busy week. And we are going to celebrate Christmas together. There's also going to be a Christmas tree in the studio next week, I'm told, by Rolls-Royce. So, let's go. Onward. Stand tall. March forward. The victory is ours. It's your boy, Benny. Have a great weekend. Merry Christmas.